Hey guys, this is Javi from Freaking Nutrition. I'm the head coach for the program Freaking Nutrition. We add along with Michael Quintana, Chanelli, Adrian Florido, Storm, and we also have Alyssa on our program. So that makes up the team. Now, as the head coach, our job is to, one, get plans out to our clients, right? That's what most people come to us, but really it's the one-on-one check-ins that make a difference. If you've ever experienced this, and I'm sure you have, you spend a lot of time either researching diets, you start one, you lose a couple pounds, and then you get stuck, you go follow that same cycle throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, you're kind of back to step one. Here at Freaking Nutrition, what we try to do is take you out of that cycle of the yo-yo dieting. Right? A lot of you have probably experienced this where you spend a lot of time working on figuring out what kind of diet to follow. Maybe it's low carb, maybe it's paleo, you start doing it, right? The motivation is pretty high at the very beginning. You're starting to really see some progress, and then maybe a couple weeks into it, all of a sudden you hit a plateau and you're stuck. Motivation goes down, and now you're back to square one, and you kind of follow this cycle over and over throughout the year. Now at Freaking Nutrition, you're gonna have a plan, obviously, that is custom made to your goals, and then second of all, you're gonna have a coach along the whole time to help you through your journey. The coach there serves to break those plateaus, to give you information on what it is exactly that you're doing, understanding why you're doing it, so that eventually you don't need us anymore. If you followed us at any point during the last couple years that our company's been around, you know we're not big on challenges, right? We're not someone who's ever talked about 30-day challenges or anything like that, because we're not of the model of trying to get you that quick fat loss, right? That's a quick way to also rebound and not really build any lasting habits. However, we've taken the opportunity now to, with 4 individuals, to start a CrossFit Open Nutrition Challenge. The reason we did this was because there's always been an orientation of being built around the community, having a really good, support system and accountability behind. Now, CrossFit in the last couple months, maybe some of that stuff has waned down for problems outside of what we do. But we'd love to inspire, especially because there's new leadership, a new kind of community aspect now, and bring some of that stuff back that we fell in love with at the beginning. Now, who's a part of this challenge? We've got Storm Kaufman.
This is log 1 of Freaking Nutrition. Yeah, I'm on the battlegrounds. I'm getting my food. I'm hunting.
We have Erica, his significant other.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So I just finished working out, checked my email, and I got my official macros from Freaking Nutrition. Pretty much for the last week, I've been practicing and kind of getting used to tracking the macros on the app. It does take some getting used to, and I just wanted to kind of start building some good habits beforehand.
We also have Anthony.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Anthony. I'm about to get ready for CrossFit for 5 a.m. with Coach Val. I'm feeling really good right now. I know it looks crazy, but it is 5 a.m. Well, getting ready for the 5 a.m. class, but feeling really motivated. I've been on this macro diet with Freaking Nutrition. Been going to Freaking Fitness. Been on it for about a week now. Lost about 3 pounds roughly. So I'm feeling really motivated. Getting ready to go. About to go to the workout. 5 a.m. class, Coach Val. Try to kill it. Let's get it done.
And we have Heather as part of the team as well.
Your blanket is not as cool as my blanket.
I got the original OG, rest in peace, Debo.
Just to let you guys know that whatever I end up eating, he's gonna end up eating too. Are you ready for our nutrition challenge?
Okay.
Having a plan in place for when they do is the important part, and that's exactly what our goal was with Storm. So a little bit about his plan and how we approached it. So with him, performance was obviously going to be important, but he also wanted to lean out just a little bit. And it's not to say he had a lot of weight to lose, so we could give him a good amount of food and let his performance and his consistency and his workouts really create some of that fat loss. So what we did was we gave him 2 high carb days, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to cycle his carbs, and the reason we do this is you have lower days of lower calories. There's going to be more of an emphasis on fat loss those days. And then we have 2 of the 2 high days to replenish what's called your glycogen stores or your carbs in your muscles to make sure that performance is peak, that your recovery is in a good place. And then 3, he also has a little bit of leeway twice a week in order to include some of the things that he likes, right? Whether it might be going to get some frozen yogurt or maybe some pizza or even include a few drinks here and there, he can include it on those high days. That is where the nice thing about following macros comes into play. Flexibility is always there, and it's for you to do with it what you want. Obviously, we want to always prioritize high quality nutrients, but when it comes to things like aesthetics and even performance to a certain extent, they don't necessarily suffer because food quality is not as great, so long as you stick to those macros. The way we have it set up is every Tuesday and Saturday, and they have to be on workout days. He's going to be hitting 70 grams of fat, 310 grams of carbs, and 190 grams of protein. Now, on his other 5 days, unless they're non-workout days, he's 75 grams of fat, 160 grams of carbs, and 200 grams of protein. Now, next up, we have Heather Hudson. Now, Heather is a phenomenal athlete and someone who is strong, fit, but has never really, I feel like, reached her full potential just because she hasn't really taken nutrition seriously, right? In her mind, she may have really given everything she's got, but there's probably a little bit of untapped potential there just from making sure that her nutrition is on point. And that's what our goal is with her for the next 8 weeks. It is purely based on performance. Heather doesn't really have a whole lot of weight to lose. She's pretty fit as it is. Now, can we just take her to the next level? So her macros are 50 grams of fat, 250 grams of carbs, and 150 grams of protein. Now, why we broke that down the way we did? You and Heather are different. That's one of the things we want to make sure that is clear. All right. These numbers are very specific to the individual. How many times a week they work out, what their lifestyle, what kind of lifestyle they lead, whether they're active, not that active, when they're working, things like that. So these numbers are very specific to her. And like I said, they're made for performance, right? So if you were to follow this and you were looking to lose some weight, probably not going to work. Now, next up is Erica Kaufman. Now, with Erica, the goal is twofold. It is to improve performance and create some fat loss. Now, whenever we have a client that wants both, we always set the expectation that performance won't be peak because we're focusing on fat loss, or vice versa, right? They can also choose to make performance be the number 1 and then fat loss be the number 2. With Erica, however, we focus a little bit more on aesthetics versus performance. Not that it's going to suffer too much, but like I said, we always try to set the expectations. Now, for her, what we did was we also set 2 high carb days, very similar to Storm. Now, why do we do that? Whenever we have couples working together, we try to get them on the same page, right? Anytime that we have couples, we definitely we encourage them to work together on this, meal prep together. And when it comes to macros, the cool thing is that for the most part, your food choices are going to be the same, whether macros are the same or not. The difference is going to just be the portion sizes. So while someone like Storm might need to eat, 150 grams of rice at lunch to be able to hit his carb requirements, someone like Erica might need to eat half that, right, just to stay within her range. But it's cool because both of them can enjoy the same 2 high days, especially if one of them wants to make, like a Saturday date night or something like that. We're saving maybe the best for last. We have Anthony. Now, Anthony's a member at Freakin' Fitness. He actually comes to the Pines location, and he is dedicated. He's here every single day, 5 in the morning, gets his workout in, and gets on with the day feeling good about himself. Now, whenever we see someone highly motivated and we see them putting in the work, especially doing something as tough as waking up really early to get in the workout, it really kind of made us look through all the candidates, and we thought he'd be a great choice to take on these 8 weeks and provide a nutrition help with. We know he's going to benefit immensely from it, and we'll tell you a little bit about our approach when it came to Anthony. So Anthony is probably a lot like you, works his 9 to 5, wants to get his workout in, wants to lose a couple pounds and feel better, right? Now with him, we wanted to be pretty aggressive from the very beginning, especially because he's just kind of getting started, right? We've only been working with him as far as at the CrossFit for just a little bit over a month, and when it comes to motivation and willpower and things like that, that stuff will tend to dwindle down, right? It's just a fact of the matter. What we always want to work on is establishing habits. Now, one quick way to get people really enthused and keep and have them feel like the habits that they're working on are worthwhile is just to see that scale move, right? So with some clients, we will focus on really making sure that that needle is moving and making sure that it's also not at the expense of general health. So with Anthony, we set his fat at 75 grams of fat, 150 grams of carbs, and 230 grams of protein. So I'll give you a little bit of breakdown of why or how we reached the conclusion. So obviously with each person's macros, we've gone through our calculations, and once we have the daily calorie need for them, from there, we then switch things up depending on the lifestyle that they lead and what their goals are, right? As far as the ratios are concerned. So when it comes to fat, and you have a male, males are always going to require a little bit more fat than women, especially when it comes to hormonal changes and making sure that test production and libido and things like that are in a good place. So with him, we gave him a good bit of fat, especially because he also has a high amount of protein, right? He has 230 grams of protein, and that there serves for recovery, preserve muscle as he's losing weight. Now, with having a good bit of fat, he can include some things like, ground beef, ground turkey, and not really worry about too much of the fat content and having to be low fat all the time. Now, his carbs are set at 150, which is pretty much just enough for him to recover from his workouts, feel good, have the energy, but not any more than necessary in order to support fat gain, right? So we obviously want to avoid that. So our mentality here was, we're going to use carbs to create more of the fat loss, a little bit of a deficit from fat as well, but mainly from carbs so that he has access to everything else and his energy levels stay up throughout the day. So why do we consider tracking macros to be the best approach? The best approach is the one you're going to stick with, and the flexibility of tracking macros is world-renowned. It's the best one when it comes to sticking with it long-term. Why? Because it's very flexible. You're able to incorporate foods that you like and avoid the ones that you don't. There's no necessity to only eat at specific times. What science has shown us is that as long as we equate for the calorie need that you need, right, to support whatever your goal is, and then also we equate that for the protein of lean body mass in your body, what you do with your carbs and your fats is not necessarily that important, right? You can create an energy deficit, surplus, or support performance through using those two. All right, guys, and that is a wrap. We hope you've learned a few things, got a little good feel for this challenge that we're going to be taking on, and you're just as excited as we are. Make sure to like, subscribe, and if you are interested in maybe some more videos similar to this, learning about how to calculate macros or anything like that, just drop a comment. If we see some topics that are definitely generate some interest, we'll do a little bit more on them. 3, 2, 1.